Did a smiling guy in a red shirt ever threaten to email your mum because you got your sums wrong? Well, I hadn't heard of this either until I discovered XtraMath. You see, I'm British. My maths education was CGP revision guides with the smug little characters on the cover. These days, British kids get things like times double rock stars and mathletics, which we'll get onto later. Anyway, no one ever threatened to email my parents because I was slow on my 7 times table. So when I found out that there was an American website that did exactly that, I was morbidly fascinated. An app that actually says to children who get the answers wrong,
don't type in wrong answers on purpose. If you keep doing it, I will send the note to your teacher or parent letting them know.
Did you know parents said it gave their children anxiety, depression, and a hatred of maths they never had before? And here's the weird part. That guy in the red shirt, he doesn't look the same anymore. When you came back after a break, old Mr. C said,
don't make me wait so long to see you again, okay?
Whereas new Mr. C says,
hello again. I appreciate how you keep coming back to exercise your math brain.
Hit that subscribe button for more deep dives into EdTech tools. Thank you. Back to the video. They even added a game that you can play to up-level the student experience. Yes, XtraMath has quietly changed. But before we get on to what it's become, you first need to understand what it was, because it was bad. Part 1. Discovering the horror. I found XtraMath the way you find most horrible things, on the internet. A creator called Trink made a video called XtraMath Can't Be Legal, where he talked about how the whole system builds this connection between maths and anxiety that sticks with you long after you leave school. I then stumbled on a review that stopped me in my tracks. Excuse me, Satan, please look after the heavens while I go down to earth to get rid of this horror. That's a hell of an opening for a maths website review. The reviewer went on. This website is literally the most brain-dead math website I've ever seen. Even iReady is more fun than this crap. The website has this annoying guy whose head looks like a rotten egg who wants to teach you math. They give you about 0.5 milliseconds to answer a question and then they judge it. It is so easy to misclick and the speed of it is way too fast. A rotten egg-headed bloke barking rapid-fire sums at kids? I had to know more. Part 2. Mr. C, the snitch in the red shirt. This cheerful-looking instructor, known to many simply as Mr. C, is the face of XtraMath, and he looks friendly enough. But to basically every child who's used this thing, he's the villain. His real name is Christopher Roberts. He's been the face of XtraMath since 2012, and kids were terrified of him. One 5th grader wrote, Mr. C made me scared, and I'm 10. He gave me a look when I got questions wrong, and he's a bot. Another kid went further. He looks like he went to this severe car crash, and his eyes moved in the crash. He has a weird smile. He is the creepiest thing ever. Bit harsh on the man, but you get the picture. And when you actually listen to what Mr. C says in the videos, it's a lot. If you hadn't logged on for a while, he'd say,
welcome back to XtraMath. I haven't seen you in a long time, and I missed you. Don't make me wait so long to see you again, okay?
Yes, that's what he really says to a child who hasn't done their maths homework. Mr. C pops up and goes in a calm voice,
it appears that you are typing in wrong answers on purpose again. I sent a note in email to your teacher and parent letting them know.
Yes, the website is basically saying, I'm telling on you. But there's actually the third stage. First, he tells you he knows you'd rather be doing something else.
I'm sure you'd rather be doing something else right now than taking a math quiz.
He builds up to it.
But it is really important for you to learn these math facts. You will use them many times in the rest of your math classes and for the rest of your life. So please, don't type in wrong answers on purpose. If you keep doing it, I will send the note to your teacher or parent letting them know.
When I first heard this, I nearly spat out my tea. Is this for real? And then, after he's actually sent the email, he hits you with,
I believe that you can do this, but you are going to have to do your part.
He's just grassed you up to your mum and then told you to try harder. Smash like if Mr. C ever snitched on you. Seriously though, I understand why the program might include a mechanism to prevent kids from just spamming wrong answers to game the system. But the execution? Oh boy. Threatening to email someone's parents because they got the sums wrong is absolutely mental. It's the digital equivalent of a teacher looming over your shoulder with a phone in hand, ready to dial up your mum the second you put a twat of lie. In Britain, we've had our share of stern teachers, don't get me wrong, but if any software tried to snitch on me like that, I'd probably fling my nearest textbook at it. The whole Mr. C meme is honestly much more therapy than it is comedy. It's a load of 20-somethings sitting around going, remember the bald man who threatened to email your mum because you got 7 times 8 wrong, and bonding over it. Mr. C has also got a Know Your Meme page. Someone made him into a Pokemon card with 1,000,000 HP. Mr. C is basically the Duolingo owl of maths, an education mascot turned into a super villain. Except Duolingo is in on the joke, and Mr. C never was. But they replaced him. And new Mr. C? He says stuff like this.
If you get stuck or make a mistake, don't worry. I'll show you the answer and then you can type it in. Mistakes are a natural part of learning and growing.
We'll get into what changed. But first, Mr. C was only part of the problem. Part 3. Why everyone hates it. The time drills were brutal. XtraMath's whole thing is rapid fire questions to build fluency. But originally, kids had to answer each basic maths fact in under 3 seconds. They later bumped it to 6 seconds in some modes. But even that wasn't enough. One parent vented that the program's uncompromising 6-second questions often didn't even register when her daughter answered in time, failing to give credit and forcing endless repetition. I hate this program and don't recommend it at all for successful learning, she concluded. One reviewer noted with exasperation that even paper is better. It does not let you pause to drink water. Kids were scared to take a sip of water because the clock was still going. The crazy thing is, half the time it wasn't even testing maths. XtraMath accepted whatever you typed first, and that was it. If your finger slipped and you hit the number wrong, tough. It counted as a wrong answer and your progress was gone. There was no backspace, you couldn't correct yourself. One teacher tried it herself and said, as I took the practice test, I made several mistakes simply by pressing the wrong key on the keyboards. If students lack their keyboarding skills, this program could seem more of a test of their ability to find the numbers on the keyboards rather than their math fact automaticity. So it's not a maths test, it's a typing test. And some parents got so fed up, they started typing the answers for their kids. As one mum said, I started typing for my girls as they said the answer aloud, and we were still finding that if you missed one or didn't beat the teacher on one, they wouldn't let you move on. The mum was literally sitting there doing the typing, and they still couldn't get through it. And here's my favourite bit. XtraMath's own FAQ actually recommends this. Their official advice is to have an adult type on the child's behalf. If your solution is get a grown-up to press the buttons because children physically can't use your app, then your app is broken. Then there was the complete absence of fun. Unlike modern educational games which sugarcoat learning with points or mini-games, XtraMath was austerity in the extreme. Just you, the numbers, and Mr. C's face. No rewards or motivational features of any kind. One kid dryly observed that literally just do one multiplication problem at home and you will have already gained more knowledge than XtraMath gave you. And this is what gets me, because other platforms cracked this problem years ago. Take Times Table Rockstars, TTRS, which is used in over 80% of English primary schools. It drills similar content to XtraMath. Multiplication facts up to 12 times 12, time questions, the maths is very similar. But TTRS lets kids create Rockstar avatars, compete against classmates in live battles, and has a timer-free mode for anxious kids. The result? Children voluntarily queue up at break time to play it. The creator, a London maths teacher called Bruno Reddy, got an OBE for services to education. Meanwhile, XtraMath's creator got called Satan in a review. One of them understood that children are human beings with emotions, put a bald man in it, and then wondered why everyone was crying. Or look at Mathletics, which we also had in some British schools. It's got a real-time multiplayer mode, where you race against other kids from anywhere in the world. An annual World Maths Day, with over 5 million students competing. Avatar customization. Certificates handed out in assemblies. Teachers on EdTech Impact gave it 4.7 out of 5 and said kids actually enjoy maths now. That sentence alone should make XtraMath developers wince. Because the damning thing about XtraMath isn't that time math practice is inherently bad. TTS proves it isn't. The damning thing is that XtraMath looked at the same problem every other platform was facing. How do you get children to practice their math facts? And decided the answer was a stopwatch, a threat to email their parents, and absolutely nothing else. And the feedback was relentlessly negative. A single typo counted as a full mistake. Get one wrong and you'd be presented presented that same question again later until you answer fast enough. An endless loop until you are perfect. Automated drill sergeant, basically. Reviews describe kids crying, raging, or shutting down from the pressure. On one review site, it has 1.4 stars out of 5 from 46 reviews, with 90% of reviewers giving it the lowest rating. One review hit the nail on the head. The reason I hate this program is because it causes you a lot more stress and anxiety. I tried it, it's bad. And if you have this, I feel bad for you. So teachers, please discontinue this program from use. That plea, please discontinue this, speaks volumes. XtraMath managed to make children literally beg their teachers to stop using a free maths resource, which is quite sad when you really think about it. Stressful and detrimental, that's the consensus. There's a dark humor that's developed around hating XtraMath, a sort of cathartic bonding for those who survived it. Part 4. Tales of Traumatized Children. So, what was it actually doing to kids? Well, I went looking for stories, and I found hundreds of them. There's a change.org petition called Let's Stop XtraMath. Over 763 signatures, and one high school student on there wrote, XtraMath made me cry multiple times due to being too stressful. I have ADHD, and the fast-paced thinking I was forced to do in first grade exceeds what I can now even do as a high schooler. A teenager still can't handle what they were made to do at 6 years old. A parent on Common Sense Media said, I have had my two sons use this program for school, one in second grade and the other in third grade. Both are intelligent and good at math. With this program, the timer causes such anxiety that they cannot complete simple addition problems. There are tears throughout each and every session of XtraMath. Two kids, both good at maths, crying every time they used it. A grandparent on Common Sense Media wrote, my grandchildren have to do this for homework every night, and it makes them cut out on the family bonding time we plan to do with them. They miss out on our loving cuddles. Every night, they cry themselves to sleep because of this website. If I could say 0 stars, I would. I don't recommend this website unless you want your children to be traumatized and never the same again. Do not use. Children crying themselves to sleep over maths homework? Something ain't right. One third grader on a review site wrote, once every day we have to do XtraMath, but never have I played such a bad learning game. If you join me, maybe we can take this business down. Another kid simply said, this game tortures me. The word torture comes up a lot, in fact. And the worst one I found. A parent wrote, my third grader come home sobbing after his teacher looked at his data and called him stupid and an idiot after he answered the questions up to 7 seconds after. Speed in math is not everything. A teacher used XtraMath data to call a child stupid. I don't even know what to say to that. Except that the teacher sounds like an actual demon. Another parent wrote, my daughter loved math before having to use this app for school. Now, she doesn't even want to do her math homework, which she used to enjoy. I pray the makers of this program do not actually have children. Trust me, random parent reviewer, they don't. For a program supposedly designed to help children, XtraMath seems to have achieved the exact opposite for many, installing a pure hatred for maths. Let me know in the comments if XtraMath caused you trauma. I want to hear your stories. Maybe we can kind of turn into a therapy session in that comment section below. Part 5. Teachers versus XtraMath. If you're a teacher and half your class is in tears every time you open XtraMath, you're gonna start questioning whether it's worth it. Many educators report that XtraMath's approach is simply not healthy for kids learning. One exasperated teacher wrote, this simply goes way too fast for my students, and I think that XtraMath shouldn't exist. There are stories of teachers who assigned XtraMath only to watch their pupils melt down, and there's a bigger question underneath all of this. Whether drilling maths facts under time pressure is even pedagogically sound. Many teachers argue it's not. It prioritizes speed over understanding and can even foster a pure hatred of maths. A child who cries over XtraMath is not going to become the next Newton. More likely, they'll do anything to avoid maths in the future. One Reddit comment from a teacher did mention having a few students who found success with XtraMath's routine, acknowledging some of my students have gained fluency and is free to use. But even if it works for some, teachers are split. Is it worth the emotional cost? Increasingly, the answer seems to be no. The Reddit thread was literally titled, "Should XtraMath be banned?" Most of the comments said yes. In my own British schooling experience, we certainly had timed multiplication tests on paper, and they were nerve-wracking enough. We had CGP books that made you feel a bit thick if you got things wrong, but at least they had jokes in the margins. We never had an automated head chastising us and ratting us out via email. I suspect that if XtraMath had been introduced at my school, the teachers would have tossed it out after the first panic attack it almost inevitably induced. Part 6. So they changed it. After years of kids crying and review sites reading like crime scene reports, XtraMath actually did something about it. Firstly, they got rid of the real Mr. C. In October 2023, XtraMath turned the old live-action Mr. C, the balding teacher in a red shirt, into a friendly 2D cartoon coach. The official blog says that the new Mr. C is not just a static mascot, but a math coach that encourages each student to progress. But it wasn't just a new coat of paint on Mr. C. They went after the stuff that actually made kids miserable. So, the old smiley faces that turn green or stay grey, depending on how fast you were, gone. They added a little countdown before each activity starts, so you're not just chucked straight into it. And if a kid stops responding mid-session, like they freeze up or panic, it pauses now, instead of just timing them out. That reviewer, who said even paper lets you pause to drink water, would be pleased. In January 2025, they added a 12-second timer option. 12 seconds, that's 4 times longer than the original 3. If you're a kid who needs a moment to think, that's massive. The old 3-second mode is still there for the kids who are good at it, but there's actually room to breathe. XtraMath says the changes reduce frustration and build math confidence, and yeah, I'd hope so. A 5th grader summed it up. XtraMath has helped me so much this past year. This program makes it fun and easy to stay on track, which is a long way from "this game tortures me." Furthermore, Executive Director Roy King wrote something in a blog post that I think is worth hearing. Our original script placed an emphasis on speeds, but we now highlight the importance of progress. It's not an apology, but after years of saying nothing while kids cried at their desks, I'll take it. And you can hear it in the actual clips. Old Mr. C opened with,
"I'm going to help you get better and faster at math." You want to be better and faster at math, don't you?
New Mr. C opens with,
I'm Mr. C, your math coach, ready to help you exercise your math brain.
It's like a completely different website. Mind you, the timer still can't actually be turned off. As XtraMath's own FAQ says, the timer can't be turned off because XtraMath uses a timed spaced repetition system to build math fact fluency. So you can hide the timer. You can slow it down to 12 seconds. But every timer you give is still being timed in the background, and that's still what drives your progress. The clock's still there, you just can't see it. And then, in June 2025, they added a game mode called Awakening. Finish your daily drill and you get to play actual maths games with avatar rewards. Teachers can switch it on or off. It's not much, but it's something. There's finally a reason to get beyond the drill, rather than the threat of or else. Parents are saying it works, even with kids who used to refuse. And here's what's interesting. People are actually saying nice things about it now. A 1st grade teacher on TikTok in May 2025 said, "If you're looking for a free, low prep way to help your students master math facts, XtraMath it is. My kids love trying to beat their streaks, earn celebration balloons, and work towards certificates." A student on Trustpilot in January 2026 wrote, "I love XtraMath. It is so much fun, more fun than IXL, which sucks, but XtraMath is so fun, I would play it every day if I could. It makes everything so much more fun. It helps me learn without raging or wanting to throw my Chromebook. I love XtraMath." Although, I think the student needs to work on their grammar, as they've clearly never heard of a full stop. But here's the thing I noticed whilst doing this research. Almost nobody is actually talking about the changes specifically. Nobody's going, "Oh, the new timer is brilliant," or "The Awakening game mode saved my classroom." People are just using it and not hating it anymore. The Brightly review site noticed the same thing and wrote, "After many complaints about the time pressure during practice, the developers listened and fixed it. After the latest update, the time limits can be turned off." But that's a review site. Actual parents and kids? Silence, which is either the best sign possible, nobody complains when something works, or it means XtraMath's audience has already moved on and the people using it now never knew how bad it really was. Even the Mr. C grumbles are dying down a bit. One teen who hadn't used XtraMath since childhood shouted, "What happened to Mr. C?" at the new cartoon coach. Fair enough, but they kept the look of the original bloke in the cartoon version, which is a weird choice. If the man traumatized a generation, maybe don't keep his face. Seriously though, is any of this enough? They've made the timer longer. They've turned the scary man into a cartoon. They've even bolted on some games. But can you actually fix something that made so many kids cry just from changing the settings? The end of XtraMath? The changes are real. The longer timers, the accessibility features, the game mode, the cartoon Mr. C. Someone at XtraMath was clearly listening, and I don't want to pretend that doesn't count for something. But here's what I keep coming back to. XtraMath made millions of kids associate maths with panic. It made them cry at their desks. That happened. No software update undoes that. So, should XtraMath be forgiven? Honestly, I don't know. I'm just a Brit who had CGP books and pencil and paper tests. The people who get to answer that are the ones who sat in front of that screen with the timer counting down and Mr. C's rotten egg head staring back at them. They lived it. Ask them. And if you've got an answer, please let me know in that comment section below. Thank you so much for watching my video. Which EdTech tool should I look at next? Snipe Snap, taking requests. On that note, snipe, snap, out.